Until 10 years ago, the world was used to traditional taxi services, mostly for shorter distances within cities or even villages, except for a few instances when passengers hire taxis for longer trips. But today, city dwellers in particular have the luxury of using an application on a smartphone to simply request a car to pick them up in the home, office, or any other location. These ride-hailing apps, such as Uber and Taxify, the highly patronized ones in Ghana, offer some convenience, safety, comfort, and arguably competitive prices than the usual taxi driver who charges without any sophisticated measurement of the distance or time he has covered on a trip. There are various types of these ride-hailing apps operating in almost every continent in the world, although Uber stands tall, operating in 65 countries and in over 600 cities worldwide. According to statistics, Uber does nearly 40 million trips each day. Aside from the convenience these apps offer to the traveling public, they have disrupted the traditional taxi business globally, forcing some conventional taxi drivers to get onto the app, which largely gives them more money and reduces their stress as they do not have to struggle for passengers. But in Ghana, where over 25,000 drivers are said to be on these apps, according to the association, a lot of taxi drivers in the urban centers where these apps operate have seen their sales taking a nosedive, as many of their passengers, especially in the middle class, have shifted to the Ubers and the Taxifys.
I prefer an Uber.
Why?
Because it's more convenient. When you order it, it comes to your house. With the price, and comparatively it's cheaper because they use the GPS and doing the calculation and all that. And it's also safe, I think so. It's also safe.
You heard recently about the kidnapping and all that with regards to Uber. You still think it's more safer than the taxi?
Yes, because I think the app leaves a lot of imprints, as in your GPS locations and all that. So I think comparatively, it is, it's better. And you're looking at the weather now. If you pick an Uber, definitely you're going to get some AC. But with a taxi, I mean, they wouldn't want to give you that. So I think even environmentally, it's preferred.
Indeed, some of the drivers on these apps are people who were not necessarily driving for commercial purposes, but are now driving to gain extra income, while it's a full-time job for those who were unemployed. It appears that those who still find the normal taxi business lucrative are those stationed at specific terminals in communities where passengers travel shorter distances that may not require the use of an Uber or a Taxify, formerly known as Bolt. Traditional taxi drivers in towns and villages where these apps don't operate are also not affected for now. But for taxi drivers who do not have specific terminals where they operate from, and only drive around hoping to find passengers, they have been severely hit by these ride-hailing apps. A visit by Citi Business News to the Accra Mall taxi rank showed how drivers sat idle as they looked forward to the arrival of passengers. I found out about the impact of these ride-hailing apps on their operations.
Things are very good. Bibia kama. Woman afidie. Yes, bibi di Uber. Omo buy one collapse adwuma no. Ye ba adwuma enya hwe ne da kofi. Afidie woman mo kan say afekro mo tumi bisa. Are you looking for Uber? No abadwane ye do mko na yi gina say. Ni ba tumi obodo nchema wo gate na no. Nya so ye gina obi ene oba be fa ye. Ntino it's like na emergency.
O how e dey abrayen. En no bezo hunu. En e bibre so mo de mo jefo. Meso mi ntumi nyefo.
Figures is very nice, but now because of the Uber, the business has collapsed.
And when you say has collapsed, what exactly do you mean? And when you say because of
because you know the Uber people are using the network, but you tell them you don't use the network. Somebody came and then you pick her. But now because of the Uber, always they use the app, and then they collapse. We can stay here more than 4 hours. Nobody will come attend of you, but all the same, you are managing it.
On the argument of the disparity in the fares charged by drivers on the ride-hailing apps and these taxi drivers, they said their fares are more realistic and that if they reduce just to stay in competition, they will lose heavily.
You know my boy, you know a reasonable. In the sense, you know, can you maintain your tough way? And then you man say bargaining, Uba, the open, you know, bargaining, yeah, near court. Obusu our passengers, no, one can quarry. Or say, here, but not court twice done that place. Well, they lie to us into no a balanced game and my both side until we are not overcharging.
Many food to the sense, man, me, I check. And I'm Omokano Susa. Sakano so near what for commercial. Miss the Musman got up. Come, first, I want what near be a commercial, and I mean, you see. Or request it also means so is in more. I mean, how me a meet and beco, meaning bar in the metro as a major base. Who greed there, Meso is in a mouth. One greed there, any out. No, I mean, pet.
Because the fuel, every present day, the fuel prices are going up. And I cannot go buy a fuel like 25 Ghana cedis. And they come and take me from here to the airport 10 cedis. And they say, give me the air condition. I think I'm lost. And then the Uber people, when you request from here to airport, you can get at the same request from airport to the mall again. But we can't get that opportunity. That's the reason why.
Although some conventional taxi drivers are now on these platforms, not all of them are willing to get onto them for various reasons. Indeed, using these apps requires some level of literacy to maneuver the app and the maps and also communicate with passengers at least in basic English, a requirement some of these taxi drivers may not meet.
There be media Uber I can't join because see them can me work. Could be a form, could be a say me judge my crown of phone if you near the end, I can't.
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
It's my personal.
It's personal.
Yeah, it's my because of the experience I'm making the testing because Uber I don't know how can I go and operate the Uber. So that's the reason why I don't like the Uber.
You don't know how to
operate the Uber. The process. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it.
It appears the future of taxi service globally will be largely technology driven, which means the normal taxi driver may have to get onto the innovation or lose out completely. But some of them say they are devising strategies to be able to compete with these apps and remain profitable.
This year we have so many programs with all the unions and you know how to offer.
The coming on board of various ride-hailing cabs has become a major issue for the taxi drivers, not only in Accra, but across the country. They are saying that by the end of the year, they're going to bring up measures to curb this problem. For Citi News, my name is Jessica Ayoko Ayi.